Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a journey through the vast expanse of human experience, guided by the lantern of curiosity and the compass of critical thinking. Today, we set our sights on a land of breathtaking diversity, a tapestry woven from threads of ancient traditions, mighty empires, and whispers of a forgotten past, pre-colonial India. As we step into this realm, let us first gaze upon the horizon of time, where the misty dawn of civilization gives way to the golden light of history. The Indian subcontinent, a land of immense beauty and profound spiritual depth, has been home to some of humanity's most enduring and fascinating stories. Our narrative begins in the distant past, where the earliest whispers of human habitation echo through the valleys and plains of the Indus River. It is here, around 3300 BCE, that we find the roots of one of the world's most ancient urban civilizations, the Indus Valley Civilization. This enigmatic culture, known for its sophisticated cities, intricate water management systems, and mysterious script, flourished in the regions of modern-day Pakistan and northwestern India. As we delve into the heart of the civilization, we find a people who were masters of craftsmanship, with artisans skilled in the arts of pottery, metallurgy, and jewelry making. Their cities, such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, were testaments to advanced urban planning, with broad streets, public baths, and elaborate granaries. The Indus Valley Civilization was also a hub of trade, with merchants exchanging goods such as cotton, beads, and metals along the extensive network of routes that connected them to Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Persian Gulf. However, around 1500 BCE, this magnificent civilization began to decline, leaving behind only remnants of its grandeur. The reasons for this decline are still shrouded in mystery, but it is believed that a combination of factors, including climate change, drought, and invasions by nomadic tribes from the north, may have contributed to its downfall. As the Indus Valley Civilization faded into the annals of history, a new era began to unfold on the Indian subcontinent. The Vedic period, which spanned from approximately 1500 BCE to 500 BCE, was marked by the arrival of Indo-Aryan tribes from Central Asia. These nomadic peoples brought with them their distinctive language, Sanskrit, and a rich cultural heritage that would eventually give rise to Hinduism, one of the world's oldest and most enduring religions. During this period, the Indian subcontinent was divided into numerous small kingdoms and tribal republics, each with its own distinct culture and traditions. The Vedas, ancient texts that form the foundation of Hindu scripture, were composed during this time, offering insights into the spiritual practices, rituals, and philosophical debates of the Vedic people. We also witnessed the emergence of powerful kingdoms, such as the Kuru and the Panchala, which would eventually give rise to the mighty empires that would dominate the Indian subcontinent for centuries to come. As the Vedic period drew to a close, around 500 BCE, the Indian subcontinent entered a new era of significant transformation, marked by the rise of powerful empires and the emergence of influential philosophical and religious movements. One of the most notable events of this period was the reign of Emperor Bimbisara, who ruled over the kingdom of Magadha from approximately 544 to 492 BCE. During his reign, Bimbisara expanded his kingdom through a series of military conquests, establishing Magadha as a dominant power in ancient India. It was also during this time that Buddhism began to take shape, with the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, known to his followers as the Buddha, or the Awakened One. The Buddha's message of compassion, non-violence, and self-discovery resonated deeply with the people of ancient India, and his teachings would eventually spread throughout the subcontinent, leaving an indelible mark on Indian culture and society. As the Buddhist scripture, the Dhammapada, so eloquently states, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This profound insight into the human condition would go on to influence generations of Indian thinkers and spiritual leaders. Meanwhile, in the southern regions of India, the kingdoms of the Cholas, Cheras, and Pandyas were emerging as major powers with their own distinct cultures and traditions. The Cholas, in particular, would go on to become one of the most influential empires in Indian history, with a reign that spanned over 4 centuries. Their capital city, Thanjavur, was a center of learning and culture, renowned for its magnificent temples and vibrant artistic heritage. As the centuries passed, India continued to be shaped by a complex interplay of internal and external forces. The invasion of Alexander the Great in 327 BCE had a profound impact on the northwestern regions of the subcontinent, introducing Greek culture and learning to the Indian people. However, it was the Mauryan Empire, which rose to power in the 3rd century BCE, that would leave an enduring legacy on Indian history. Under the wise and just rule of Emperor Ashoka, who reigned from approximately 268 to 232 BCE, India experienced a golden age of peace, prosperity, and cultural achievement. Ashoka's conversion to Buddhism after a brutal war with the kingdom of Kalinga marked a significant turning point in his reign as he began to promote the teachings of the Buddha throughout his empire. The edicts of Ashoka, inscribed on pillars and rocks throughout India, bear testament to his commitment to nonviolence, tolerance, and compassion, and continue to inspire Indians to this day. As one of these edicts so eloquently states, "All men are my children, and just as I desire for my children that they should have welfare and happiness, so do I desire the same for all men." The decline of the Mauryan Empire in the 2nd century BCE marked the beginning of a new era of fragmentation and regionalism in India, with numerous small kingdoms and dynasties vying for power. The Gupta Empire, which rose to prominence in the 4th century CE, would eventually reunify much of northern India, ushering in a new golden age of cultural and scientific achievement. The Guptas were patrons of learning and art, and their court attracted some of the most brilliant minds of the time, including the renowned mathematician and astronomer Aryabhata. As the centuries passed, India continued to evolve and adapt, shaped by the complex interplay of internal and external forces. The arrival of Islam in the 8th century CE would have a profound impact on Indian society, introducing new cultural and religious traditions that would eventually give rise to some of the most magnificent architectural and artistic achievements in Indian history. The Delhi Sultanate, which was established in the 13th century CE, marked the beginning of Muslim rule in India and would go on to shape the course of Indian history for centuries to come. The Vijayanagara Empire, which rose to power in the 14th century CE, was a major Hindu kingdom that would eventually become a dominant force in southern India. Their capital city, Vijayanagara, was a center of learning and culture renowned for its magnificent temples and vibrant artistic heritage. The empire's rulers were patrons of the arts, and their court attracted some of the most brilliant minds of the time, including the renowned poet and philosopher Vidyaranya. As the 16th century CE dawned, India was on the cusp of a new era of transformation, marked by the arrival of European traders and colonizers. The Portuguese, who established a trading post at Goa in 1510 CE, were the first Europeans to arrive in India, and would eventually be followed by the Dutch, British, and French. The Mughal Empire, which was established by Babur in 1526 CE, would go on to become one of the most influential empires in Indian history, leaving an enduring legacy on Indian culture, architecture, and society. As the 16th century CE dawned, India was on the cusp of a new era of transformation, marked by the arrival of European traders and colonizers. The Portuguese, who established a trading post at Goa in 1510 CE, were the first Europeans to arrive in India, and would eventually be followed by the Dutch, British, and French. The Mughal Empire, which was established by Babur in 1526 CE, would go on to become one of the most influential empires in Indian history, leaving an enduring legacy on Indian culture, architecture, and society. Under the rule of Akbar, who reigned from 1556 to 1605 CE, the Mughal Empire experienced a golden age of cultural and economic prosperity. Akbar's policies of tolerance and inclusivity allowed for the flourishing of art, literature, and music, and his court attracted scholars, poets, and musicians from all over the world. The Mughals also made significant contributions to Indian architecture, building iconic monuments such as the Taj Mahal, which was constructed by Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. As the Mughal Empire began to decline in the 18th century CE, India was fragmented into numerous small kingdoms and princely states, which were eventually colonized by the British East India Company. The British colonization of India had a profound impact on Indian society, leading to the exploitation of India's resources, the disruption of traditional industries, and the imposition of Western values and institutions. Despite the challenges posed by colonial rule, pre-colonial India's legacy continued to shape Indian culture and identity. The Mughal Empire's contributions to art, literature, and architecture, for example, continue to inspire Indian artists and writers today. As the Indian historian Romila Thapar has noted, the cultural heritage of India is a rich and complex tapestry, woven from the threads of many different traditions and influences. In the centuries that followed, India's struggle for independence was marked by the emergence of prominent leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi, who drew on the principles of nonviolence and civil disobedience to challenge British rule. The eventual attainment of independence in 1947 CE marked a major turning point in Indian history, as the country began to forge its own path and shape its own destiny. Today, pre-colonial India is remembered as a complex and multifaceted civilization, marked by significant achievements in art, literature, science, and philosophy. As the Indian poet and writer Rabindranath Tagore once said, "India is a country where the past and the present are not separate, but intertwined like the threads of a fabric." The legacy of pre-colonial India continues to inspire and influence Indian culture and society. From the magnificent monuments and architectural wonders that dot the landscape, to the vibrant traditions of music, dance, and art that continue to thrive today. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.